U.S. officials say Russia's latest demands in regards to Ukraine and NATO offer no change to the current situation.
Our Washington correspondent Basil John reports as the U.S. and its allies wait for a response from Russia on the rejected demands. Basil.
Well, Laura, Bill, good morning. And yes, Russia demanded a written response, and this latest message from the U.S. and NATO could determine if a war breaks out in Europe.
There is no change. There will be no change.
In a letter to the Russian government, the U.S. refuses to give in to Moscow's demands.
We make clear that there are core principles that we are committed to uphold and defend.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. and NATO will hold their policies in place and not allow Russia to dictate how this situation is handled,
including Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity and the right of states to choose their own security arrangements and alliances.
The U.S. has already delivered military assistance to Ukraine with ammunition and anti-armor systems.
More deliveries are expected in the days to come.
Blinken echoed the message that any military aggression into Ukraine will be met with consequences and economic costs.
As part of our response, we're also prepared to impose export controls that will have a longer-term effect, denying Russia products that it needs to fulfill its strategic ambitions.
And White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says Russian President Vladimir Putin needs to think about the consequences his country would face.
And that includes impacting business and economic interests of President Putin and the leadership of the Russian government.
Now, Blinken says the 8,500 U.S. troops are still on standby as the U.S. continues its push to resolve the situation through diplomacy. Reporting live in Washington, I'm Basil John.